morning. Welcome back to the course Sustainability through Green Manufacturing Systems and Applied Approach. So, in this course we are trying to understand what are manufacturing systems. Then we will try to learn the techniques or we will try to see certain tools to obtain green manufacturing systems and how can we have sustainable manufacturing, a complete sustainable manufacturing using these green manufacturing systems. So, to understand green manufacturing, first we need to know what is a production system. So, what are systems? What are systems of systems? So, Dr. Deepu Philip has already covered that what are production systems. So, how production systems work, elements of production system, an introduction to simulation. So, in this lecture, I will try to cover life cycle assessment. So, life cycle assessment is the total assessment throughout the life of the product. Now, what is this assessment? What is life cycle impact analysis? These are few terms we will discuss in this specific module in this week. So, in this specific lecture, I will cover an introduction to product life cycle. So, before we go to life cycle assessment, we need to understand what is a product life cycle. Then stages in product life cycle, then product life cycle management, how do we manage product life cycle, then certain milestones in LCA, that is life cycle assessment, that is some history on this. Then also I will introduce you to what is life cycle costing of a product. So, I will start with an introduction to product life cycle. What is a product life cycle? The first thing that comes into the mind when we talk about product life cycle is the marketing perspective. That product is thrown into the market, some people buy it, the sales rises and sales gets down. Yes, that is one of the way to look at the product life cycle. It is something like this. Management people or industrial engineering people would more appreciate this. So, because we have people from multidisciplinary streams in our course, so I like to give the introduction, the basic introduction of product life cycle. In product life cycle, we have certain stages here. So, I am dividing into certain stages. So, this first stage is the introduction stage. Let me use a different color of ink to put it better. This is introduction, this is growth, this is maturity and this is decline. So, we have 4 major stages 1, 2, 3, 4 and you might have noticed that it did not touch this line here. If this line touches down here, this is known as decay. So, what do we have on the ordinate end of seesaw in this? We have the time here and sales here. So, what happens when a product is introduced into the market? First, only a few people, only the risk takers would buy that product. So, those risk takers are known as product leaders. Who would buy this product? The product leaders. So, these leaders will buy the product, they will test the product, they will spend the full amount of money and they will give certain reviews. Based on those reviews, some other customers would come into the play, they will buy the product, those are known as followers. So, these followers will buy the product and the sales is rising because no more people are now purchasing. After certain time, the sales is declining. So, here the people who are buying these products, they are known as laggards. So let me take an example. For example, a new mobile phone is introduced into the market. So first, who will buy? The people who are risk takers. For instance, the mobile phone Samsung Note 4, when I purchased that, the cost was about 44,000. So that was the edition phase when the product was introduced. After a certain time, the new products actually were coming into the market, and the competitors were also working well. The cost reduced and the sales started increasing. So that went into the growth stage, second stage. So after certain time, the sales becomes maximum, like this is nearly constant. What happens at this point of time, at this stage, the sales starts reducing. So now the company gets a hint that this product is a kind of obsolete, or not obsolete, if I would say outdated kind of way, like the technology or new demand, customer is expecting a little more from the product. So they introduced new version of that, maybe Note 5. Okay. Here we have the decline in the sales. So after a certain point of time, this specific model would be stopped, like this production with model will be stopped. So that would be the decay. So this is product life cycle. So do we have the product cycle just like this, or do we have certain exceptions? So the question is that, is this PLC unique, or do we have certain exceptions in this? Yes, we do have exceptions. This is actually all marketing thing. We have certain kinds of product life cycles. We have style, we have fashion, we have fad. Style is something like this. This is style. This is fashion. This is a fad. So what is style? Style is the manner in which a product is presented at certain styles. They come and go. The sales increase and decrease, increase and decrease. So a typical example here may be the decoration in the home, the clothings, like maybe formal or casual clothing. The style, the kinds of clothes which are introduced, like some sales goes up and down, but these styles could last up to generations. So this is a large time. So fashion is something that comes into the market. So it for certain, this is actually small time here. Like if this is from 0 to maybe 10 years, this is 0 to, I can call it 1 year or maybe 0.5 years. So some product comes into the market, the sales rise, and it grows to the maturity level, and after a certain point of time it starts decreases. The fashion comes in and it goes out. The typical example may be like I was talking about the clothing, if we talk about the specific kind of clothing. For instance, in these days the formal attire, in the formal attire we have double-breasted kind of the blazer, like two kinds of buttons are there. This was 20 years back also, that was a thing. It is generally said that in clothing the style repeats 20 years, each 20 years. So what is in this specific 1 year? This specific attire is the double-breasted coat maybe. Okay. So this is fashion. Next is fad. Fad is something that just comes into play for a short span of time. This can be 0 to maybe 1 month or maybe 1 week. This is actually because of the customer enthusiasm. The customer gets enthusiastic to buy some product This is specifically the movies, the sale of the movie tickets, all those things, like movie comes into the market, and the sales is movies going into cinemas, and all which is all seen by people, and certain maybe songs those come. If I talk about the commodity here, we can talk about the t-shirts that comes from a specific fest. For instance, we have Antaragni, that is an cultural fest in IIT Kanpur. In those days, those 3-4 days, the t-shirts which have got printed Antaragni maybe 2017, the sales of those t-shirts is very high, and in a week time the sales falls down just like that. And also I could remember in one Antaragni, an attempt was made by IIT Kanpur to record in Guinness Book of World Record, to make a record to solve the 3 into 3 Rubik cube. So, in those days, because the students were practicing to solve the Rubik cube, so the sales of this cube went high for about 1 month in specific, like in city Kanpur. So, because thousands of students were practicing to solve this one. So, then they just came down. So, this is just an introduction to product life cycle. So, next is stages in product life cycle. So, I was just talking about the marketing perspective, because people understand product life cycle in those times in from marketing viewpoint only. So, I will talk about the product life cycle from production viewpoint, production and sales also. From this viewpoint, what are the stages in product life cycle? So, we have a manufacturing facility here, in which I can say a manufacturing facility, like Dr. Deepulip told, this is a production system, a manufacturing system, or even I could call this as a production system. If you have different sections, those are doing some operations. We have input that is converted into output, and this is actually processing. We have input here, and we have output here. So, this is a manufacturing facility. So, it has certain sections here, section 1, section 2, maybe section 3, and in each section we have unit processes. And our material is passing through these to finally obtain a product. So, I can say the initial processing, this is actually, okay, I will put here, this is a unit process, these are unit manufacturing process. So, this can be said as, this last stage is, I can put it as assembly. So, this is assembly. So, please keep in mind, I am talking about a product that is manufactured, like for example, I am talking about production of the mobile phone only. The different components are processed, and finally an assembly is made. The components are processed here in different unit processes, like the body, the integrated circuits inside, the master board, we have camera, or actually in a manufacturing facility here, I have seen a manufacturing facility that manufactures mobile, that actually produced mobile phones. I will not say manufacture. Produce means they actually are getting the components from the ancillary units, and they are just assembling them. So, in that case, assembly is the major contributor. So, we have the inputs here, the raw material. Raw material, maybe components, maybe sub assemblies. I like to talk specifically here about a typical product. A typical product can be something, a product, because I am talking about the stages in product life cycle. I can consider a product that has from the very raw material. Raw material I am talking about actually the extraction of ore. Here raw material I mean this thing. Like I like to talk about each steps, like from very extraction of ore to the final manufactured product that reaches customer. For instance, in mobile phones we have integrated circuits. Integrated circuits are made on PCBs, printed circuit boards. In printed circuit boards we have copper. So we need to have copper for that. For instance, let me take one material as copper. So we have copper as raw material here, the ore. From the ore we create a stock. We create stock from here, and this stock is actually, that is the processed form of copper. Now the processed form of copper that is plated on the plastic sheet or maybe bakelite sheet that is used as a printed circuit board, that is then used to form the motherboard or the printed circuit board for mobile phones. So this is actually very specific, or the I am talking about the electronics product. If I talk about a, let me say a big product, let me say an automobile body. An automobile body is mostly made of these actually composite materials are coming into play. If I talk about aluminum, aluminum is one of the material, or duralumin, that is used to manufacture aircrafts. So duralumin ore is extracted, the ore is purified, impurities are removed, then they are, that is processed, that is certain constituents are put into it to make it usable as the body of the aircraft. So that is the stock we have obtained here. So you see, I am trying to talk about the sustainability, the green manufacturing system here. So we will talk from the very basic raw material extraction of ore to the sales. In this case we will see we have different stages in product life cycle. First we will try to understand these stages, then we will see what kind of assessment, has to be made in each stage. Like at raw material stage, what is the life cycle, what does life cycle assessment tells to consider over there. It considers, it says okay, consider use biodegradable, if possible biodegradable raw material. If not exactly biodegradable, use a material that has lesser environmental impact. So in manufacturing stage, it will tell, it will do the assessment that what is the energy that is consumed, what is the waste that is produced during manufacturing. After that, the third stage I can put here is the sales and distribution. So this is the next stage, sales and distribution. So after sales, what happens? The product reaches customer. So is the story over? Product reaches customer, customer is now using the product. From the production viewpoint, it is okay, the product is made, it is now sent to the customer, customer is maybe he is satisfied with the product, he is using the product. But when we talk about the life cycle assessment, the story is still not over, the product is still physically there with us. Like we talk about mother nature. In mother nature, like we say, the energy can never be created, not be destroyed, it can be just transferred from one form to another. So we have to take care of mother nature. So what is happening? Customers are using the product. Maybe if I say I bought this mobile phone a few years back, I like to change the mobile phone. What will I do? I will sell this mobile phone as a second hand phone or in the market, and somebody will reuse it. After certain point of time, like he will reuse this product, but after certain years this product would finally decay. This product, in this case by decay I mean the product would have to be disposed of. It will go to the ground, it will go to the mother nature. The ore was extracted here from mother nature, like this was beginning, I will put here, of the life, and where is the end? End is the disposal. after sales and distribution, the disposal of product also happens. So, I will divide these into the three major stages: stage 1, stage 2 and stage 3 through the whole life cycle of the product, when it was taken from the mother nature, when it is given back to mother nature. So, what has happened in between, how much energy have we consumed, how much waste is produced during manufacturing, during consumption. For instance, in sales and distribution as well, the waste is there, the carbon footprint. I'll talk about this specific term later as well. So, carbon footprint is the pollution that is produced by the transportation system which we are using, like we are using trucks, we are using certain automobiles, we are using air freight, we are using ships to transport one product to another. So, the like I am talking about the Samsung mobile phone Note 4, where are the components manufactured? Components are manufactured maybe in China, or maybe like assembly is actually done here there in China only. So, some components are maybe called from US. So, how does that happen? In that case also energy is consumed, carbon footprint is there, this waste is produced. So, these three stages I will name them as: number 1 is raw material stage, number 2 is work in progress stage, and number 3 is finished good stage. So, these are the three major stages in product life cycle. So, next comes product life cycle management. So, we talked about the product life cycle, we talked about the stages in the product life cycle from production viewpoint here and sales viewpoint here. Production and sales, all production and sales together, I would say that was only sales, the previous one. So, what is product life cycle management? So, when we have talked about these stages here 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, then we have product life cycle management as one term. Second term is product life cycle management. This is product life cycle management. This is product life cycle management. So, I have put these as two different terms because I like you to know that there are two kinds of thoughts people have. Generally, PLM is one thing, product life cycle management, like we have PLM softwares as well, like Siemens PLM software. We will use that software in this in the concluding weeks. We also introduce you to how PLM software, certain modules in that are used to obtain a sustainable factory. So, product life cycle management is managing the whole life of the product. How do we obtain raw material? How do we do processing? What are the various plant layout considerations in that? What are the various processes? What is the energy consumption in each processes? So, can we have some kind of layout? Can we have some kind of process that is green? By green I means, is it better than the previous version? So, this is product life cycle management. The first term here is product life cycle management. What I said just now, that was about the second term, product life cycle management. The products for the first term, product life cycle management, here life and cycle are two different words here. It is talking about different stages here, how to manage this specific stage. So, it is talking about the unique or the specific stage here, how to manage the product while it is in maturity, how to manage the product while the growth is happening. Like when we introduce the product to market, how it is carried out. It is interesting to know that the first prototype is manufactured and it is tested by the internal customers. For instance, I have been to Hero Cycles. They manufacture the initial versions, initial models of the new model that they have to introduce into the market. They manufacture the pilot piece, or they manufacture the initial few pieces and make the internal customer to use that product. The internal customer is the people who are within the factory. So, they will use their product, they will give the feedback. That is actually in the introduction stage only. So, the feedback is coming here in these two stages, and changes can be made. You might have observed in the market that a new product is introduced. For instance, when Indica car was introduced, Indica car was sold because of the reputation of the company Tata. Like when it was just introduced, what happened? It was observed, it was found by the people who purchased this product, the product leaders, that the car was not giving full power, which was not giving full performance in the fourth gear. Fourth was the highest gear. Then they introduced the car again by putting another gear, gear number 5 into that. So, then the sales go like anything. Like Indica was one of the most sold car in the specific period. So, later certain other competitors came down, and these days the competition is the key thing that is happening in the market. So, managing one cycle, how do we manage growth? How do we manage maturity? That is product life cycle management, point number 1. Point number 2 is that we will more focus in this course, that is product life cycle management, and we will do product life cycle assessment based on this only. So, I like to put some information here as well, that when we manage, I am talking about point 1 here, when we manage the product life cycle, when do we introduce the product? Like this is one product that is coming to the market, I have put the decay here, the product is decaying here, right. So, when do you think the product will be introduced into the new product, or new version of the product will be introduced to the market? So, when this decays, so when I do like this, next product, next version would be like this. Let me consider as I am taking example of mobile phone here, let me say Samsung Note 3, Note 4 and Note 5. Is it like that? When sales has completely got down, then they introduce that? Now, see, they will have a loss zone here, they will have very few sales here, loss and loss. So, what they want, what the companies want, they want at least one product to remain at maturity level. They like to have one product to remain at maturity level, so as the sale is maximum. So, they want one product that should have maturity at this stage, at this specific stage. Okay. So, to make this product reach maturity at this point of time, when the decline is starting, like this is product 1, okay, let me choose another color for product 2 here. This is product 2, this is maturity for product 2, this is product 2, this is product 1 red color, and when this maturity ends for product 2, there is another product, product 3. So, at least one product, 1, 2 or 3 needs to be in maturity level. So, what would happen, because the maturity is here, so this line is, this specific point is decline in version 1 and maturity starts in version 2. So, this is version 1 and version 2. So, it goes like this. So, when we have decline in version 2 here we have decline in version 2, then the version 3 is mature. So, it is something like this. So, it is a ongoing process like this. So, this is how they manage the various stages in the product lifecycle management. So, you can see what is happening, how the consumers are purchasing the product. It has been noticed that in recent decades, in past few decades, the consumption pattern has grown exponential. The consumption, like I will show you that this consumption pattern in the week where we will study this sustainability, we will study the social and economical effects of sustainability. So, you will see that in the past 200 years, whatever we have consumed in past 20 years, that is double, maybe more than that of what we have consumed in past 200 years. So, we will see this graph how this is coming. So, these days the consumption pattern is rising at a very high rate. So, it is even going to increase in the future. So, we should have manufacturing systems, the systems of green manufacturing systems that produce the products in a way so as the needs of the customers are also fulfilled, and our future generations could have same fun, same enjoyment, same thing that we have now. So, they should not, like we should not be carry oxygen masks and oxygen, all those things. See, it is happening in China, in Beijing. People are buying the oxygen cylinders, they are carrying it on the shoulders and putting the oxygen mask on their face. These things are happening. That is why the specific field sustainable manufacturing is coming into the play. It is actually towards, I will show you the milestones in life cycle assessment. Like since 1960s, we have found a few researches, those people have done, people have talked about, people had an idea that these things would happen. So, this is how we are talking about product life cycle management here. So, this is how we manage product life cycle, different stages. So, if I talk about the point number 2 here, or the second definition of product life cycle, it is product life cycle management. This is actually managing information. Managing information. So, we manage the information that we have acquired during the life cycle of the product. Before managing, we need to acquire information as well. We need to acquire information. What is the information? Information for all these stages. Information in stage 1, information in stage 2, information in stage 3. The stage 1 information may be the, see here we having work in progress, we have manufacturing facility here which is manufacturing. So, we have the design here that is ready, raw material and design is ready here. Then we have manufacturing the processes, the various kinds of processes, and material handling. Then here we have after sales services maybe. So, these are all taken care by the second definition, PLM, product life cycle management. So, I like to have a break here and will come with the second part of this lecture. Before that, I like to give you a task. So, what is the task? You please identify a product. Identify a product that is around you. Choose any product. You may choose a pen that you are using, a pencil, and you may choose the mobile which you are using. You may choose the clothing which you are wearing, the body gears which you have. For instance, you have the watches. Choose any product. Try to see what are the various stages, what are the various raw materials in it. So, what are the various components first? identify a product, then identify the components, then search you on the Google what are the raw materials for this, okay, and you choose one product that is of your choice. You try to find out the processes involved to manufacture this product, and then you try to find out from where is this product, where is the manufacturing unit, and how the distribution is happening. See, if you choose one product and try to do this task, try to do this exercise here, you will have a practical information or a practical experience that how the product is manufactured, what is the raw material, what are the components, and what are the various processes. Choose any simple product, okay. You can, if you choose maybe shirt, you see from where is this cotton produced. For instance, I am wearing shirts of maybe Arrow, okay. Arrow is a company, okay. So, how, from where do they purchase? You might find some information online, okay. Then what are the various processes, how the distribution happening, how the distribution is happening. That is the third stage. So, this will give you an hands-on experience that how the product is manufactured, how the product is from the very raw material, how the product finally reaches the customer. So, this is task 1. Task 2 would be, you choose any product and try to find its product life cycle. Try to find its product life cycle. You will be definitely finding some information online. Maybe you choose some mobile phone. When was this mobile phone introduced? How did the, what was the sale in the initial few weeks, and when did the sale rise? You can find what is the maturity period over there, what is the growth period, what was the introduction period. For instance, I can give you an example here. Amazon started its work. See, these periods, these specific stages periods, these can vary. For instance, some product can have very small growth period. It has just reached, if the demand is high, like we talk about the fad, the introduction and growth is just negligible. The product just went on like that, maturity, and just fell down like that. So, like Amazon, this was the cycle, I would say it introduced and growth started happening in 9 years. This was 9 years of the time. So, this was 1997, this was 2008, and this is Amazon. And after 2008, when the IT revolution, when the online purchasing actually that comes into the play, that people started purchasing more and more online. So, this growth of the company is exponential now. So, before that they were just dealing into the books. So, they were just delivering books. Now, Amazon into all the products. Typically, people say that Amazon charge 8% commission. It may vary depending on the product. So, you see, if I compare this with Walmart, Walmart was something like, it was the growth was something like here only. Now, Amazon has shooted up the Walmart in 2017. Walmart is, the growth is something like this. So, slope is less, slope is high. So, you choose any product, any, maybe you can choose, you can see the similar kind of pattern for Flipkart, and you can, I would recommend you, if you choose a physical product, you choose some pen, the pen you like, which you are using. Try to see the Reynolds pen, that is very much famous. You can choose that product and see what is the pattern. pattern of product life cycle. One is you choose a product that is having this kind of pattern. That next you can choose a product that is having fashion kind of pattern. Third, you can choose a product that has a fad kind of pattern. So, these are two tasks. Please do these tasks. This will give you an experience. This will make the things concrete into your mind, that how product life cycle works. I will meet in the second part of this lecture where we will discuss further what is life cycle assessment. So, as of now, thank you.